Shortly after man acquired his first conveyance, the challenge first arose. How do you make it go faster? Faster than anyone else's? To go very fast, faster than anyone else, is a challenge and a satisfaction. To go as fast as a machine will carry you around a course, chasing someone or being chased, trying to outdrive or outsmart them. This is what racing is all about. This is the challenge of racing, and it must be experienced to be understood. So, let's experience some of it right now. Stop. That's enough for now. Fun, isn't it? Exciting? Sure. Which is probably why motor racing in its many forms is the second largest spectator sport in the world today. Year after year, millions of fans gather at thousands of times and places to watch their favorites try to go faster, faster than anyone else, in their favorite machines. Since this machinery, and the urge to climb into it and go, is fundamental to the challenge of racing, let's do it. Let's kick the tires and poke around the cockpit and start up the engines, for now. Later on, we'll take each of them out on their course and discover what it's like to push them as hard as they'll go. Here's a good beginning, a racing motorcycle. 300 pounds. It has an air-cooled 45 cubic inch displacement side valve engine, which develops 50 horsepower at the rear wheel at 6,600 RPM. A motorcycle such as this one is capable of speeds of 150 miles per hour. This is a very lean machine with nothing on it that doesn't contribute to its race-winning potential. The brakes, the transmission, the clutch, the throttle, the tachometer. Let's climb on and turn it over. Idles at 2,500 RPM. You can take it as high as 7,200 RPM, and later we will. Here's another variation, and a famous one on racing machines, the highly specialized Indianapolis car. Let's try it on for size. The seat of your driver's suit goes here, your hands here. The 256 cubic inch displacement engine alone in this car costs about $6,500 and develops its best torque between 55 and 6,500 RPM. That's the starter switch. Water temperature and pressure gauge. Tachometer. Gear shift lever. Shall we fire it up? Now let's take to the water in a high-performance competition boat. This one, a Gold Cup class hydroplane. The engine room, the bridge, oil pressure gauge, tachometer, speedometer, manifold pressure, fuel pressure, mixture control, throttle, but no brakes. Water resistance does that for you when you lift your foot. This boat is 28 feet 6 inches long and weighs 6,100 pounds, 12 feet wide. Its engine develops 2,000 horsepower. That's about 8 to 10 times the average output of today's high-performance passenger car. We'll warm our hydroplane up now and wind it up later. This is a slingshot dragster, a machine conceived and dedicated to the proposition of maximum acceleration down a quarter-mile strip of straightaway. Weight, 1,450 pounds. Wheelbase, 130 inches. The engine is capable of output up to 1,000 horsepower. Hence the mighty rear tires with 10-inch treads that carry 75% of the car's weight. The machine takes its name from its functional wedge shape, the slingshot. These cars need to be push-started because a normal starter would load too much of the nitro fuel into the cylinder and could cause an explosion which would disintegrate the engine. Let's turn one over now and turn one loose later. Whether a racing machine runs on water or land, on 2 wheels or 4, it needs a good one of these. An engine that the driver can call on for flat-out performance time after time, with reasonable hope that it won't fly apart before the checkered flag falls. The design and maintenance of such engines is work for brilliant men, and one of racing's most exacting challenges. In order for racing machines to compete, they need something to compete on. Some kind of course or strip that fully extends both the driver and equipment. Over the years, various schools of motor racing have developed their own traditional courses. each with unique challenges to the driver and particular fascinations to the watcher. Here's what is doubtless the best-known race course in the United States, the tradition-rich speedway at Indianapolis, Indiana. A rounded-off rectangle with two banked corners and two relatively flat corners. A tricky, sinister course, one a driver can spend years learning to assault, like Mount Everest. Corner 1 at the end of the home straight. Corner 2, flat and unforgiving. The back straight. Then into corners 3 and 4, both banked for higher cornering speeds. Now out of 4 and down the home straight again. Although its surface looks broad and roomy, there's only one groove to follow through the corners that will get you around the speedway at optimum speed. A racing principle which applies to all courses on land, sea, or air. Darlington, South Carolina, another of the United States' great oval courses. Here, the stock cars chase themselves round and round at blistering speeds. Daytona Beach, Florida, a 2.5-mile oval course designed for flat-out speeds, with corners banked as steeply as 31 degrees to encourage the fastest lap times in racing. Plastered high on the wall by centrifugal force, the front runners at Daytona often try to coax a few more winning miles per hour from their cars with the drafting technique. In theory, it's quite simple. Just behind a fast-moving car is a zone of near vacuum which presents very little drag to the following machine. In practice, drafting demands a special driver characteristic: ice water in the veins. It means inching up within arm's length of a competitor's exhaust pipe and staying there at scorching speeds. The oval track is the principal battleground of other racing machines as well. Sprint cars, for example. The tracks on which they compete are often dirt-surfaced, resulting in a driving technique that seems to contradict ordinary laws of locomotion. We are on a road racing course. Its resemblance to a meandering county highway is traditional, logical, and deliberate. That's because closed courses didn't exist back at the turn of the century when motorsport was born, and the first races were driven on public thoroughfares. From these beginnings grew a school of competition driving which resulted in today's road racing course, a closed circuit of two-lane asphalt which recreates the conditions and opportunities of the open road. This is Meadowdale International Raceway near Chicago, a typical high-speed road circuit which climbs and dips, twists, lashes, doubles back to present the driver with everything from long straights, hurtling into clutch-busting hairpins, to tricky S's. To the average spectator, the road racing circuit comes the closest of any racing course to his own everyday driving experience, which may account for its tremendous recent surge in popularity. It's a business in which the spectator feels that he himself might indulge, had he the equipment, the financing, and an enthusiastic wife. There is another kind of circuit with yet another kind of surface on which travel not wheels, but hulls. It is the easiest and by far the least costly kind of circuit to create. All that's needed is a river, or lake, or ocean, and 2 or 3 buoys to mark the turns. But there is nothing easy about it for the man behind the wheel. A typical watercourse is designed to take a ruthless critical measure of boats and drivers that challenge it. On the long straights, every ounce of engine thrust is needed to stay competitive, and hull dynamics affecting top speed and acceleration can win or lose for you here. In the fast turns, the skill and experience of the driver take over and succeed according to how sensitively he can balance centrifugal force against throttle opening without washing out or flipping. This, incidentally, is no sport for sinus sufferers. How about race people? How about the drivers, the crews, and the fans? The people for whom the sport exists because they created it. Each of them gives something special to racing, and each gets something in return. What? Let's hear it from some of the drivers.
I like to drive. I like the performance that we get out of it. I get a lot of personal satisfaction out of it. I think it's a tremendous team spirit thing that we have with our own particular car, which they're trying to explain to you. We have a lot in common on it, a lot of personal satisfaction out of the end results.
Every time I'm out here on the track, I learn something.
The pit crews. What does the challenge of racing mean to them?
Well, after you put on a few hundred hours work, you get a little bit of satisfaction watching it go around and win.
Observing all of this, and usually paying for the privilege, is the race spectator. What does he get from the sport for his price of admission?
I like the sounds and the smells and all the excitement of racing.
Boy, I just like to see him go fast.
I like the social side of racing. Parties afterwards and everything.
There is a curious fascination to race watching that few other sports evoke in the viewer. The speed alone is hypnotic. The spectacle of racing is one of pageantry and splendor. And the rich, round sounds of racing create a special excitement in the crowd. But beneath the surface of these attractions is the sense of watching a kind of game, where the players are staking everything on their skills and judgments, and on the belief that they won't make a mistake. But sometimes they do. Fortunately, few of these mistakes punish the driver with anything more severe than a ringing in his ears and a bill from the body shop.
Now we're going for real. You behave yourselves and watch those flags. Use your hand, and when you go back out on that course, you wait till that guy lets you go.
of the thing that racing is all about. Driving the machine at high speed on its particular course. Sitting with the driver in his private world of motion, what is there to see and hear and to think?
Well, here we go again. Now if we can just stay headed in the right direction.
In my first race, I really drove as fast as I could. I thought that because my car was faster on paper than most other cars in the race that I'd win, or at least finish near the front. I could hardly believe it when cars I knew were slower than mine began passing me in the backstretch. I felt ridiculous. I sure had a lot to learn. There's a lot more to racing, you know, than just having a fast car.
I like it when the corner workers wave at me. It gives me a good feeling.
I don't care if I win. I just love to drive.
I always feel kind of queasy in my stomach before the race. Sometimes I lie down and sleep. But once the flag drops, I feel great.
Heck, I don't win many races, but I sure have a ball just driving.
Hey, I'm coming out of that turn a little faster every lap, but let's not overdo it, Buster.
I talk to myself when I'm driving. I say shift or brake or get thumb jerk or whatever.
There's no substitute for cubic inches in a racing engine. I'll take good old-fashioned horsepower any day.
You know, I think driving's a good way to pop off steam. I doubt if you'll find many drivers around here going goofy.
It's hard to keep track of what lap it is. I just drive all out till I see that checkered flag.
Boy, that guy up ahead of me sure has his foot in it.
3 more laps, buddy boy, then a nice cold shower. Boy, that cool-off lap, that's the best feeling in the world.
Now it's our turn to take the machines out on their courses and drive each of them at speed. Here's the motorcycle we left running with racing fairings added for streamlining. This will be a run at racing speed with 2 other bikes. Let's go. To Indianapolis. Let's take one of these beautiful machines out for a flat-out tour of the Speedway. Gold Cup country. We will be in the cockpit of our racing hydroplane, touring a lap on an official 3-mile pear-shaped Gold Cup course on the Detroit River. Ahead of us and to the left is the rooster tail of another boat, harrowing down the straight. The trick is to stay out of his wake, or we lose thrust in the foaming water. Let's see if we can take this guy. This is the start line at a drag strip. Our slingshot is being pushed into starting position, and in a few seconds we'll drop the clutch on nearly 1,000 horsepower to be hurtled a quarter-mile down this strip in less time than it takes to talk about it. Watch the starting light on our right give us the countdown. Nearly as the eye, the ear, and the seat of the pants can convey is what racing is about. The machines, the people, the courses, and the wordless experience of speed itself. This is the challenge of racing.